Hello and welcome back to another episode of Track Talk. Today we are rejoined by Foe, who you will remember from Olsen. How you doing, dude?
Hello, it's me.
It's you. And one of the 25 tabs I can see is the
Yeah,
Destinations contest. So this I think was this released after the actual contest ended, or was this?
no, this is definitely within the contest. I think it
Oh,
was
okay, yeah.
whose was the contest? Was it
Squiddledorf's,
Squiddledorf's?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting you confused with Arglex. He was
Yeah, he's
working on
still
that.
going.
He's still going, like nearly like 4 months on or whatever,
Yeah,
however long it was. Yeah, I mean
yeah. I'm
this.
not sure if the contest ever had like a proper ending. I don't think it
No,
did.
I don't think it did. I didn't really
Like, not enough people entered
monitor
really.
that one that much. Yeah. So yeah, but your entry stood out a lot because it was very polished and extremely technical.
It's one of the few times I've actually stuck with it. Well, had an idea and kind of stuck with it before making the track, rather than just slapping lines down and seeing what happens. Which is
Yeah.
probably the way to go about making tracks, to be honest, if you want them to be any good. But
Jeez, I mean that's such a rabbit hole to go down. But yeah, like
oh yeah, you'll see. I get bored of it by the end of this one as well.
but yeah, I mean this track was just so insane because one of the other things I didn't even realize until I got to the end is this is all blue as well.
Yeah, yeah. You've got the surprise. The surprise, like
Yeah.
it fades out at the end. Hang on. Yeah, it spends a while fading out at the end.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure there must have been some crazy multi-lining to achieve those bounces and stuff, and then it's like all blue, and I was like, oh, um,
Blue. Yeah. Um.
jeez, yeah,
So the thing about it being all blue, of course, is well, I'll show just the first section of it.
sure,
Um. Yeah, this bit I did straight away as soon as the contest was announced because I just loaded up the file to see what was going on, and this is what kind of inspired me to use as few lines as possible. I think also someone said like, "Oh, get from A to B in whatever style you want." But if you're using like a minimalist style, try and actually make it interesting rather than just having one line from one
yeah.
place to another. So I just literally put one line from one place to another.
Yeah, like your track
Uh,
is kind of like the most complicated minimalist track I've ever seen.
yeah. Um. Yeah. This first section is just all little XY lines within the square and the numbers, but I'll load up the actual. I'll show the actual line rider window in a minute. I just wanted to say about the biggest controversy with this track.
Sure.
So obviously these, where you can see the little clouds of 10-point cannons, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I spent this section at the one. I redid over and over again like 20 times. Like I had actually I will switch to the line rider window now. Let me just
Really, that's so
like
crazy.
I didn't know what to do because I wanted to keep the style with just like one line to each. That's not the right button. I wanted to keep the style to change windows. Here we go. One line just to each thing. But then when I got to the bottom of one and I was deciding whether to keep it all blue or not, that's what that looks like. I think you see in the video. The second half of the video has a colored version anyway.
Yeah, that's insane. I really liked. I mean, obviously we can't. Actually, we might get the music because you're streaming the actual application now, so it possibly. Yeah, we can hear that.
Is it? Yeah, yeah. This music is hard to find. Like I always knew it from I think like an old Stepmania chart or something someone made. I thought it got deleted from YouTube before I started making this, but luckily I found it again on Vimeo or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so. There's something so nice about having the style that you use here. I mean, if you scroll back a little bit to the diagonal line, just so we had that roll, because I mean, you don't expect this at all because there's something
Yeah, you
like
can't. If I turn off color playback here, yeah.
yeah, like the surprise of having these
If I
kind of
turn
like
off, there we go.
little hidden G wells and lines that do stuff like that, just like really kind of subverts your expectations. And it's just the way you move them as well is quite unique. So it's just very pleasant to watch.
I don't know. the way I move him again is less kind of planning and more kind of just see what happens when I place the lines, which I'm not good at. I think. Are these still XY at this point? Yes. So oh no, that's a 45. Okay, yeah. So all of this first section was like XY 45 degrees, but then the other sections get less like that, but still keeping the lines hidden within just X or Y big horizontal lines or whatever, so you can't tell. So I take it's kind of still XY, yeah, whatever.
So this is
these,
the end of the first track then, in a sense.
Yeah, well, I don't have 5 different. Oh god, I don't have 5 different files for destination. I just have one big one.
Oh.
And at the moment we've loaded this one.
Yeah.
And the next one ends somewhere in here, and the next one ends somewhere in here.
Oh, I see. So you like kind of erased one and then started again each time, or you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I needed to do that. I didn't need to do that at all. It just makes it much more awkward. But
yeah.
So this thing, it's funny how people literally see a cloud of 10 points and they're like, oh yeah, that's perfectly reasonable that he's just literally teleported onto the next section of the track. Like, nothing wrong there.
Yeah, it's like you don't figure it out until you realize it's all blue.
It's just been accepted at this point that this bullshit can do whatever you can do whatever you want. Like, does it really make a difference that it's not real in this case?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the difference between this and what you've done there is like in the track Endless that I made, like when I first asked people what they thought the hidden 10-point cannon was, like I think someone asked me if I'd edited it, like if I just edited 2 circles. So it's like the difference is almost nil. Right?
Except one's the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
So how much difference does it actually make at this point?
Yeah, not a lot really.
So I'm just trying to find the final iteration of this stage.
And to be honest, in theory,
this one has a lot. This is the longest one, so it has the most saves.
I was going to say, in theory, you probably even could have done that with a blue iterational 10-point cannon. If you just zoomed the camera in, it would have achieved the same effect. So
I don't even know how to do 10-point cannons at that point.
Yeah.
Didn't even know. I mean, I could do. I've done the all blue ones. I've never done red line ones really. But you say you can actually like get that same teleporting effect just with blue lines?
You could.
Do you think?
You could. It would be less strong if you did it iterationally. I know Aether has done some iterational ones. Like what you could have done is you could have recopied this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green square like 5 different times for each point and just had a different one. But then, like people would probably still give you shit because they'd be like, oh, you just copy and pasted like this section like a million times or whatever.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, when I teleport back to this, I have to fill it in this time. Like people don't seem to notice that much.
Oh yeah, I never really grasped that.
Inside, right? But yeah, because I couldn't be bothered to like fling him up here somehow with just XY lines in the edge of the square again. I just filled this in, but apparently it didn't matter too much. I'm gonna go to color playback instead. Oh, you can see in the exported track, I didn't actually have these on the video, but there's some extra little minimalist things. I think these were beforehand, and I got rid of them for the recording because I didn't want it to look like he's being actually this slow. Because most of the time he's doing this stuff on the line, he's ridiculously slow, and that makes it seem not as good.
I thought maybe these were reference points.
So by the time you get to, I left these ones in, the ones coming up, I think. Wherever they are. Oh, when the drums kick in, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, that's different to the video as well. There was a line between it and then like another one. So yeah, now at this point he's moving fast enough that it looks like not terrible. So I had some there, but it's kind of more confusing as to what's going on if you don't have the other ones. If you don't have any other points of reference and it just looks like a line the entire time.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my favorite bit. He does a double loop.
It's so pretty.
Again, that's just like I don't really know what I'm trying to achieve at the time. Like I wasn't trying to make him do that, but then I saw he was kind of going in that direction. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
nudge the points about until something good happens.
Just playing, yeah.
And it's none of it's like precisely perfect, but it's zoomed out enough that you can't quite see those bumps that you can see now on zoom in.
Yeah, and with smooth playback or whatever, it just
In fact-
disappears anyway.
Right, I realized later on that in the next couple of sections, I actually have like a slightly wider line than a normal line like that.
Yeah.
Just as an extra little cheat, but I think this is the point where I abandoned it being XY. Now you have other angles that aren't 45 degrees or XY, and yeah, I tried to sync some stuff. Let's see the end of this section. Oh yeah, this is where I thought about. This is where I first had the idea of all right, fine. I'm going to have to change his height to get him to the level of the two. So let's have more than one line. Let's have him drop down to a different line,
Right.
but have them kind of off screen to one another, so you can't see both on the screen at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like nothing ever happened, kind of thing. It just cycled around and came back the other side or something. And then there's a camera sync to zoom out to the two. You see it in the video. Oh, this save file is actually slightly incomplete as well, but that's fine. And there was the fake cannon on to the next section.
Another fake one, yeah.
Yeah. Which is something like this.
I think this part coming up is probably my favorite in the track.
This is definitely the hardest to do. But again, it's an example of I had an idea and actually tried to stick to it, so it came out better than it would have if I just did whatever.
Amazing, honestly. I think, is this the section where he actually changes direction on the same line and it's still all blue? And it's like, what the hell?
No, not that one. All right, this is the best save file we have. Again, it's not quite got everything. Oh no, it has got everything. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we pretend to teleport back to the square again. The scenery coming on screen is into sync with the music. That's like the best I could do there.
How did you do that?
Oh, it's a bit cheated. Like it's not within the line; it sticks up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
Even so,
like you can see the little cheat there.
But like all of these other lines, I can see. Which ones are any of them pointing out diagonally to change that direction?
No, this one's pointing that way.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
And that's what pulls him back in that direction twice. Like it gets his tail and then his shoulder, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I see. And then he spins and then balances. Oh, that's so cool though.
And he does it again the other way.
Yeah, like the one there is insane.
That's the same, but this is pointing that way.
Yeah, instead. He like whips around and it's still balanced, and there's so much.
It's exactly the same both times. You catch his tail that happens to be on the manual on, and then it catches one of the other points, like his foot or something along here.
That's so cool.
But the way I make these isn't like going frame by frame. It's normally like I'll be a couple of frames ahead of where I want to be, and then I'll put something back here and wiggle it around and see where he's. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you use onion skinning for that, or do you just know where the contact points will be? Oh damn! We have a wizard in the house.
Well, you don't even have to know where the contact points will be. You just kind of see what happens.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Like you know which one you want to move, kind of which rotation.
Yeah.
But maybe I have velocity vectors on. I don't normally, but you know that he's kind of rotating, so his nose is moving faster into the left this direction than his tail is at the moment because he's rotating that way. So the nose is the point you want to catch if you want to move him back to the right as fast as possible. And then, I can't do it immediately right now, but
fair enough.
Yeah, well, there we go. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And yeah, he's moving quite fast this whole time, so the scenery is alright. Oh yeah, and the camera's exactly right, so you can't see the line above him at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's a lot of height.
So
it's mostly from a full line along here, like a normal full line, and then making him survive that full line he has to be at exactly the right angle that he's.
So you managed to grab quite a significant number of contact points there.
Yeah, it's to get more height and stuff like that. You need to have like a couple of contact points at least. Like
I guess it's also kind of surprising.
Just use a wider line.
Yeah, like how far he'll actually go, even at that low speed, like how high up. I guess
Yeah.
that kind of surprised me as well, because that's one of the things I really didn't expect to see.
Yes, that's carrying on with the theme of what don't you expect to happen when he's just writing on a single line.
Yeah.
And then that line comes onto screen at exactly the right the sync, etc.
Oh, that's.
And then I would have loved to have the next line come on at that point in time with the music, because this one, if you listen to the music, it goes there. If you hit the next line there,
Yeah.
But I couldn't get I tried, because at the angle he is around here. I mean, I could have like deleted back a bit and tried to have him coming in at a different angle again, but I couldn't get the same height coming up here.
Replicate all the same points, and those contact points aren't
Like
as elastic.
That's about as good as I could get.
Yeah, like those back ones, you can't
like
stretch as far. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to wait, and but not sure if I like this decision in the end, but I still had that line appearing above in sync to the music as this note happened. So now you can see that line, because he goes high enough to see that line now, and that stayed on screen just at the top. I can't remember what the zoom was for the actual thing, but yeah, like that or something. So there's a line there, but then you can see two at the same time, so I didn't really like it. So I might have changed.
Yeah.
And then we're at this kind of angle again, where you get the hands and feet at the same time. I think this is just one line. That's literally just one line.
That's cheeky. And what's that, like 4 or 5 ppm?
Then we turn around again. And it doesn't look like he's turning around very much if you didn't have any scenery here, so I had to put something here.
Yeah,
so it doesn't look good if you're just doing that.
Like some of the time when I could see the scarf and stuff like that in the recording, so like I knew it wasn't animated, but like that's almost what it looks like at times.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know, like half the moves here are not as good as they could be. Like they're just like grinding around too much. The rotation isn't very consistent and stuff. But
it's still like really enjoyable to watch though.
That was one of those. Again, he's at the same angle where you get the hands and the feet.
You can grab them all and he just pops straight up there.
And it gets that one as well, I think.
Yeah, it's a strong one.
And again, to show that he's turning around, you have the little. Yeah, and one final one to get up to the 3. I like in XY especially, but I know this isn't. But you see these stalls from people like I don't know, Lima or something, where to change you have him rotating in one direction, and to change his rotation, you have a little stall and then flicking back in the other direction to change his rotation. Chose to have the cannon upwards that point for some reason. And then the next one only has like 1 or 2 save files. Yeah, this is where I got bored of it, because that took a long time.
Like this one's just like straight down pretty much.
This one, I mean, yeah, the destination point was straight down. So like, what am I supposed to? Oh, why is there another one there? Okay, what was I supposed to do? Oh wait, this isn't the save file that
I guess you hadn't moved the 4 across.
There we go. That's the save file. That's the most recent one. No, I never moved any of the points.
All right.
These are all in the same places we're given.
Oh.
In the spirit of the contest. Because I didn't have the select tool and.
Oh yeah, it didn't exist then, did it?
Or maybe it did, but I wasn't on that using that.
Yeah, I don't think many of us were implementing it that much then.
I was just going around holding Control and Alt a lot and moving single lines. Yeah, there's like literally nothing for this one. It's still one vertical line as the main theme coming down, but there's nothing there. This took ages to make him survive this for some reason. Like
because it's about like 20 ppf or something.
It's not that bad. Yeah, it's 22 coming in if you hit nothing. Yeah, for some reason it took ages. And you have the nice little zooms every time he hits a number to show kind of the place, the destination.
Yeah.
And at least something happening on the single line that you wouldn't quite expect. He gets flicked up there.
Yeah.
And the final one, I don't actually have the save file for. I mean, I finished it and didn't save the last time.
Oh, rip.
So we go to the YouTube video instead, I guess.
Okie dokie.
Which is screen share options, change windows. Boop. Nope, not that one. Boop. There we go. We're over here. Oh, that's quieter. Oh well.
It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, and there's color playback in the second half we can go to, but at this point I was kind of burned out of doing this.
It's still
stuff.
like
I felt like I got worse.
Well, I'm not sure like you
at this
really could have topped what you did in 3 that much because you kind of
Yeah.
had explored the concept by that point. I mean, certainly I didn't notice any drop in quality. And the 4 one I just kind of thought was kind of thrown in as a joke, maybe just to like kind of go against the grain of all the other ones.
No, I was rushing to finish it, and it's like, what else can I do? Because I can't go horizontally towards 4 at any point, really. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I knew it had to finish with nothing else visible, like just the plain destinations.
Yeah.
File that we got given. Square.
Damn. Well, yeah. I mean, that was very nicely done. I mean, do you have anything else you'd like to say about the track?
Let's see. People should make more blue tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, like take a leaf out of this guy's book and experiment.
Stop cheating with all your crazy multipliers.
Hashtag multiplier cheaters should all be banned from Line Rider.
Well, yeah, it's not like my tracks could be made in like the original Flash game either, because all the lines are very tiny. You can't get lines that small and stuff.
Oh, could you not?
I don't think so, right? Because you could only draw a line at a specific length.
Oh, damn.
Before it appeared.
I didn't realize. I thought you could always draw 0.01 or whatever it is.
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know enough about it. But
I don't know either. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I often come back to your tracks is just same with Olsen. I mean, you're just creatively a very unique as a track maker. Good to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I mean,
it's the truth.
It only happens a couple of times, right? Because my other tracks I've just done kind of, wishy-washy, play some lines, don't know what I'm doing beforehand, kind of thing. So that is the big difference. Is when I have an idea of something to do before I actually make it.
Yeah, like when you have like a concept.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well.
There's your takeaway.
Yeah, takeaway from this guy's. Always. Don't be afraid to play around. We always love to see new and interesting things. And Fo, thanks for being on today. This was.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, this was a very interesting episode for me. I had my eyes open as to what you can actually do with blue lines, that's for sure. And anyone watching, leave some likes or some dislikes if you for some reason hate this. Then
yeah, well, it's 5 separate tracks. It's cheating, right? You gotta tell me.
Feel free to give your opinion below. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again.
See ya.